Yo guys, it's me again. Warframe has been out for a very long time at this point, and it looks and feels entirely different from when it came out, with almost all areas of our game getting massive overhauls at some point during the game's lifespan. So let's look at Warframe and what it has become now in 2022. Maybe you haven't tried it before and are looking into it, or maybe you are looking at returning to the game, or maybe somehow you just haven't heard of it before. The very base of Warframe in a style sense is still the same. In generic terms, Warframe is a PvE third-person looter shooter, with a heavy focus on grind and upping your arsenal with new weapons and characters. This has always been the same. The road you take to get there and the content in between is ever changing, however. The fantastic news for those who may be new to Warframe is that over the years the newer player experience has been completely revamped. Changes to quest lines, graphics, as well as the tutorial missions, which is greatly improved from how it used to be. A much more friendly starter experience that for most players will be a great introduction to the world of Warframe. But alongside this experience as a new player, the thing that can still be an issue for some players is depending on your playstyle, the game has an incredible amount of information that you slowly need to learn, and it's not always the most obvious thing. So depending on what you like in games, this can either be a strength or a weakness. With tons of interactions between gear, mods, and endless potential for different builds and synergies that require different parts and mods from all areas of the game, this game can feel quite overwhelming if you just want a super casual game. I will say from personal experience that when I first played Warframe, I lost interest after getting overwhelmed with information. However, after someone offered to help teach me and I tried the game again, I learned how things work and got incredibly invested into the game. While being a long time ago, this feeling is similar to what I hear a lot of new players feeling here now in 2022. I commonly get people talking about how they have no idea where to start or what to do. However, on the other side of this is the lack of information within Warframe does breed a sort of community where everyone is out trying to help each other. That is still true to this day. I have memories of vibing in a random squad with people that I have never met before, talking about our Warframe mentors as it were, and realizing that everyone in the squad had that one person that they remember being the person to teach them the world of Warframe, and that being the reason they got so into the game. Playing with others in Warframe and being part of such a community is an incredible feeling, but this does mean that if you're a start-off player wanting more of a single player experience, while it is 100% possible, it may also be a lot harder and a lot less fun. I'd say more nowadays than it used to be. The game's strength comes with how fun it is shredding through enemies with a group of friends, challenging yourself with different goals and seeing everyone's progression. This kind of leads on how the community really is nowadays. The community really depends on where you kind of sit. I can sort of close it down to a few categories. We have the people still progressing, as in the people who still have tons of stuff to do and are always working towards getting new gear or mods. This is the majority of the Warframe community. Obviously, with the amount of stuff in this game, there is always something to work towards. Kind of a classic MMO style where you don't really run out of things to do. Then you have the people who have found what they enjoy and they kind of stick to it. As in the people who may not have gotten everything in the game, but don't care anymore because they found what they enjoy. These are the people who are typically those that will probably be offering to help teach new players. The people that you'll find running or being a part of dedicated Discord servers for sections of the game. And of course, you then have the veterans, which don't care as much to what they're doing, they're just enjoying the game endlessly and kind of just play it because it's fun. These players are the ones you'll likely find commonly sticking to a small circle of people to play with. That, or they tend to hyper-focus on an aspect of Warframe, whether it be eidolons, speedrunning, events, or other things. The general community of Warframe, however, is endlessly generous and friendly. Always people willing to help, creating new tools and sites to make things easier, giveaways and competitions through discords and streams that can help newer players, and content that always goes up on the daily from creators helping teach new players how the Warframe world works. Luckily in Warframe there is so much content that it can be hard to run out of. Despite what you may see by veterans who have many thousands of hours in this game, there are a lot of things to grind, collect, and farm, as well as upgrade and test. With so many different things to do, starting from scratch, you can expect a very large amount of content for you to progress through. Hundreds of different missions, tons of unique frames, hundreds of weapons, each able to be upgraded in lots of different ways. You got boss fights and quest lines that are replayable, and while this game is PvE, hell, there is even a small dedicated PvP community. Honestly, provided you are willing to try things out and see what you enjoy, there is so much content in this game that you're almost guaranteed to find something that you enjoy and thrive in. That kind of brings you to the very generic question that most people always ask when talking about Warframe. And it's a fair question. What is the endgame? And to that I say it's kind of whatever you make it. It does seem to be a cop-out answer, but you really can do whatever you want for Endgame. Find an aspect of the game that you enjoy and take it to its limits. Endurance runs, speed running, trading, collection, whatever you want to do really. I have a video on this exact topic talking about all the different things people have decided to make their own versions of Endgame. And while for some people, this pick your own Endgame is not what they want, or maybe it sounds weird to you, I respond with that a large majority of games nowadays are a similar style. There is only so much you can do before you reach that point where you just pick what you want and have fun. Even then, Warframe has so much content in between starting out and getting to that stage of Endgame that you'll have a blast and a half anyway before it either becomes an issue or you start having to find an area to focus on. Warframe is a game that's really hard to describe to some people. I can't begin to count the amount of times someone has asked me what Warframe is about and I struggled to describe it well enough that the person understood. You can describe the generic terms that I said at the start. Well, it's a PvE looter shooter. But Warframe has so many different areas and plays so differently than expected that it fails to be able to be described with simple terms like that. What I will say, however, although biased, I believe Warframe is an incredible game. If you've not played Warframe before, give it a try. The bonus is that Warframe is free. You lose nothing by giving it a shot. Hell, if you try it and don't like it, you can literally just delete it and move on. You've lost nothing. But if you try it and like it, you might just find that you have finally found a new favorite game for the coming months or even years. I can tell you, I've been playing for 7 years now, and my original thoughts when I first saw the game were, hey, it's free. Why not give it a shot for a couple of hours? With a super dedicated and friendly community, you can always find people to help you or become mates with. There are tools, discords, and sites there just to make the experience more fun and easy. With tons of great creators making constant content of new builds to try or explaining how things work. For those that may be returning after a long break from Warframe, not only has Warframe completely changed in multiple ways these past couple of years, but as of December 2021, we received our biggest questline update ever. A new quest that takes about 3 hours to complete, and in my opinion, has the greatest storyline and awesome graphics that I've seen in a game in general. I'd truly suggest coming back even if it's just to try it. But yeah, that's Warframe I guess. I hope I shared some insight into what Warframe is like now here in 2022, and maybe you learned something. Maybe you're gonna give Warframe a try. Thank you all for watching, I'll catch you in the next one. Robo out.